I got a virus.
I didn't die.
But I never recovered.
1 year later.
8 years later.
16 years later.
20 years later.
I still can't live my life.
I'm still housebound.
And bedbound.
I can't work.
I cannot do a normal job.
I can't look after myself.
I have missed my daughter's childhood.
I can't play with my kid.
I'm now diagnosed with the chronic illness.
Myalgic Encephalomyelitis.
ME.
ME is a complex multi-system disease. The key feature is post-exertional malaise, which is a worsening of symptoms after cognitive, emotional, physical, or other exertion.
My GP recommended that I increase my activity levels.
My specialist told me that the national recommendation is graded exercise therapy.
Graded exercise therapy?
Graded exercise therapy.
This made me worse.
Much worse.
Graded exercise therapy is harmful for patients with ME because of this key cardinal feature of post-exertional malaise. What is happening is that patients, when they exercise, get worse.
I went from being able to walk down the street to being reliant on a wheelchair.
To being bedbound for a year.
I had to buy a walking stick.
The story is a variation on the same theme, but it's very much the same. Someone is well and fit, and then suddenly they're functioning at a fraction of their pre-illness capacity.
I wish I'd allowed my body the time to rest.
Instead of pushing through.
I wish the recommended therapy hadn't made me and thousands of others worse.
The guidelines are now being rewritten.
But until they're finalised, this harmful recommendation of graded exercise therapy remains in place.
We need change now.
Before I had ME myself, I had very little exposure and understanding to and of patients with ME. I had a vague notion it may have been related to deconditioning or burnout, but as soon as I became unwell with this illness, I realised that that was completely wrong. This is a severe, complex neuroimmune condition.
It is possible that COVID-19 unfortunately will lead to an increase in the number of people with ME. We think this because there has been a variety of studies, one of which in Australia found that about 10% of people who had had one of 3 or so viral infections after 6 months had fatigue syndromes. Therefore, I think probably a 10% level is what we might and should expect. So the research that we need to pursue as scientists in COVID-19 and post-viral fatigue are 2 types. There's one which is epidemiology. So this is all about how many people experience prolonged fatigue after COVID-19 symptoms. And then the second is different. It's biomedical. It's working out why many people recover well and a substantial minority do not. And that's understanding the biology, the underlying causes, the biomolecular causes of risk of getting fatigue.
Coronavirus is a very novel problem, and we are seeing a lot of exciting work coming from research centres, clinicians, international collaboration, and patients and the general public and the government all supporting the drive to get some scientific answers for this new and horrible disease. And what we need to do is see the same sort of movement in finding a cure for ME.
What I'd like to say is that I hope that I'm not right. I hope that there isn't an upsurge in the number of cases with initially post-viral fatigue and then diagnoses of ME. I hope that that's not the case. But if it is, then I think a far larger number of our population in this country and abroad will have a better understanding of those who have lived with ME for many, many years.
I wish I could go and watch live football again.
I want to climb mountains again.
I want to be able to run again.
I want to sing and dance again.
I want a proper social life.
I want to be the best parent I can be.
I want my life back.
I want to be able to live my life again.
I want to be independent again.
I want to be free from pain.
I want to get up for more than 4 hours a day.
I want to join the real world.
I want to be able to go out of the house.
I want to be able to do something for longer than 40 minutes before having to lie down.
I want to hold my head upright. At least most of the day.
I want to listen to loud music and dance wildly.
I want to go.
I just want to be able to go downstairs and sit in my garden.
I want to leave my bed.
If any of these are going to happen,
We need treatment that helps, not harms.
We need biomedical research to better understand this disease.
We don't want anyone to go through what we're going through.
We got viruses from which we didn't recover.
We don't want that to happen to you.